I'm not talking about these people need money. I don't like to see anybody lose a job. These people have enough money to live comfortably for the rest of their lives. There are so many other people out there, great minds, that have not gotten an opportunity.
What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here, yet another episode of the Wrestling Outlaws with the Outlaws themselves. You can call me the Sheriff.
Giddy up.
We have Outlaw EC3. We have Outlaw Hatchet Man, Vince Russo. Very laying down. Helium Hatchet, ladies and gentlemen. And the Digger himself. He maybe used a hatchet or two. EC3.
I love shovels, I love knives, I love axes, I love hatchets. But there's only one true outlaw. Let's throw it to our boy, Double J. Huh? What a return, right? I don't know. I'll let you know.
Yes, indeed. Good segue, by the way. So actually, let's talk about Jeff Jarrett returning to AEW. Going broing down memory lane real quick. So, man,
slap nuts. I still do. I'm over 30s. Like, I grew up, like, he was calling people slap nuts. Never got it. Still don't. I asked him. He kind of just laughed at me. What is a slap nut?
I don't know.
Is it a derogatory term for a fella? Who slaps nuts? I don't understand. It almost sounds cool, but it sounds almost like the lamest thing ever, too, and I can't decide which.
Yeah. Well, Ali looks at them. Episodes of Raw, so he might not slap him, but he looks at him. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Jeff Jarrett. So, man, the guy just keeps going and going and going. He has 9 lives. He looks great. I mean, we saw that with the Flair gimmick, the main event. Man, he was the MVP of that match. Look, he was healing up really good, and he's been doing some work in GCW, healing up really good. Been doing some work in AAA, healing it up pretty well. So, man, he's an old school heel, and I like it. I'm a fan of it. I love traditional. I love that old school feel, knowing how to get that heat, and that's exactly what he did on AEW. I mean, it didn't take him anything. He shattered his guitar on Darby Allin, a beloved babyface. Good way to come in as a heel. Cuts a promo. You know, I was looking at I said before, I love watching pro wrestling documentaries, and Vice has a really cool documentary called Tales from the Territories, and it was him and Jerry Jarrett and a few other people talking about Memphis wrestling. Jimmy Hart was on there too. Dutch, I believe, was on there too. And it was a really, really cool show. And they were talking about, just old school stories and stuff like that. And Jeff knows the business as a heel, man. I love it. EC3, what was your experience working? So was Jarrett, did Jarrett ever come? I know that he had ins and outs of TNA after he left, and then he brought Global Force Wrestling in there for a hot moment, and then he came back with the Anthem, merge deal type of deal for a hot moment. Did you work with Jarrett in TNA?
Yeah, a little bit, but I was not heyday Double J, TNA all the way. I believe my father Vince Russo mentioned yesterday on our little podcast that he was truly the king of the mountain because he couldn't keep him away from the title. So we were moving other people around it. But I did not have any involvement from my time in the end of 2013 till my end there in about 2017. Nothing direct. He was always part of like the Global Force came in. It was kind of a working relationship for a little bit for whatever that was. And then towards the end with Anthem, he was coming in, but I was on the way out. So direct. He's my boss? No. Have I been to his house? Yes. Have I ridden his jet skis? Yes. Have I eaten steak cooked by him? Yes. Have I had wonderful excursions of trading shots and laughs? Yes. Have I had a direct working relationship? No, I've wrestled him once, and it was on a Podunk India, and it was outside somewhere. And I think I smashed a guitar on him, but it wasn't like a worked guitar because they couldn't find one, so it ended up being real, and he was really upset. So I won that match too because I don't lose, but that was cool.
Honky Tonk Man smashing the guitar on Jake Roberts back in the day on this.
Nothing direct, and I think when Global Force came in as part of a parlay, it was sort of I was on top, yeah, that's right, or champ at the time, so I was kind of like kept away from that little smorgasbord of political hierarchy and chaos.
Yeah, because they changed the belt to the Global Championship for a hot moment, didn't they?
Not when I had it.
No, well, not when you had it, but I think they had the Global Championship for GFW, and then when they did the when they did the gimmick with them coming in, kind of transitioned over for a hot second. They were trying. It seemed like he was trying to bring GFW as like pushing TNA out and bringing GFW in type of deal.
What is it? We're just making up letters and throwing on different ring ropes and slap nutting a thing over a title. Like it was trying to create a perception that was an actual thing when in theory it wasn't a thing. That's like me saying, "Oh yeah, CYM's going to invade WWE any day now." No, I'm not.
Right.
We're just starting, maybe, and I'm not naive or delusional, and I don't have the pulse of idiotic wrestling fans or reporters to take them on this journey, this super long con where they think it's a thing. It's not a thing. It wasn't a thing then. They tried to make it a thing. It didn't become a thing. He found his way into the thing he created in the end. Good for him. He's got 9 lives, I heard.
Indeed. Vince, you worked with him in WWE. You worked with him in WCW. You worked with
him. Bro, you know what problem? I gotta tell you. I guess I'm gonna do a whole show on this tomorrow on YouTube. Probably. I'm gonna tell you the problem. I'm gonna tell you what my problem is, bro. Forget about the angle of him being a heel on TV. That's gonna be done in 3 weeks. Tony Khan's got 80,000 people on that roster. Yeah. Jeff Jarrett's not gonna be on that show every single week.
No, he's a live event director.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Mm-hmm. So, okay, bro. So he comes in, he does an angle. Next thing I know, he's vice president of something again. I am so sick of, bro, and I'm gonna tell you why. I do podcasts with incredible people.
He does.
Incredible people. EC3, Disco, Ben Hameen, Stevie Richards, Stevie Ray, Al Snow. The list goes on and on and on. Amazing people. I am so sick and tired of the same people being hired over and over and over and over in a wrestling business where the numbers have been going down for 20 straight years. These guys are not getting hired on their merit. They're getting hired because they're a friend of so-and-so, and this one's putting a word in for this one. That's how they're getting hired. And like I said, bro, Jeff Jarrett is probably the greatest worker. I put him right up there with Hulk. I mean, for the guy to constantly be able to get these jobs. But, bro, he got hired for a job by Tony Khan. The WWE let him go in that same job position, not once, but twice. These guys are not getting jobs on their merit. They're getting jobs because they're politicians or they're a friend of so-and-so, or they've been there forever. Okay, bro, the third hour of Raw is down to 1.3 million people. Okay, AEW cannot break 1 million viewers no matter what. My Aunt Tilly can wrestle the main event and they're not going to do 1 million viewers. When are we going to start giving other people an opportunity based on their minds and based on their merit and not based on who they know? And I'm not talking about Vince Russo. Let me make it clear. I don't want a shot. I'm done. I see, that's the thing, man. I did my thing, and then I walked away in 2012. Give somebody else a chance. I did it. I'm done. I'm just so sick and tired of the same people with the results being the same. And there are great minds out there that never get a chance. It's pathetic to me.
Can I throw in on that?
Yeah.
Or something. Chris mentioned earlier he's doing great work in, GCW, which is kind of, underground, but like niche and kind of hot. And he's doing great work as a heel in AAA. And, again, it's foreign. Wrestling fans here, diehard wrestling fans are watching AAA, but not casual wrestling fans are watching AAA.
Right.
He's doing something really cool there. When I was doing the initial parts of Free the Narrative 3, which is airing now on Pro Wrestling TV at Pro WTV or ProWrestlingTV.live, download it, watch it. Like he was kind of the antagonist I wanted to bring in because he was doing the outlaw thing, and I always thought like EC3 would always have this like sinister, evil stepfather. Why wouldn't it be like a guy like Jeff Jarrett? But he's doing all this great work in other things that are niche wrestling that catch the attention of wrestling in the small little bubble. And so who's going to jump on what's cool somewhere else real fast? But the guy that has the endless income and the means to pay anybody anything, and if he makes a mistake, it doesn't matter because money doesn't mean anything because I have so much and it's not mine and it doesn't really matter. It's whatever. It's what's my plaything and it's cool. But Tony, in a sense. So it's super cool somewhere else. I want it. Well, I assure you, I want it. I want it now. Okay, well, Jeff, being the consummate professional and a man who's known that when you see opportunities like this, as Vince and I talked about with my sweet aunts D, where they can make money off these fans who are, owners of companies, they're going to every extent, and they're going to run it dry, and they're going to just give me, and then jump out of there like the Monopoly man with a bag of cash over his shoulder.
And speaking of that, EC3, and that's the thing, Chris, the people that I'm talking about, okay, bro, listen, come on, we had Road Dogg on this show, okay, Road Dogg
you didn't know?
Yeah, Road Dogg made a load of money. Let's go for whatever reason, and Triple H immediately hires him back once Vince is gone. You got Michael Hayes, bro, that has been there since dinosaurs. You got Paul Heyman, bro, that has been there since the dinosaurs. Bro, these people, they've made their money. I'm not talking about these people need money. I don't like to see anybody lose a job. These people have enough money to live comfortably for the rest of their lives. Okay, bro, let's freaking be honest. There are so many other people out there, great minds, that have not gotten an opportunity. And quite frankly, bro, because they're not politicians. Stevie Ray is not a politician. A guy like EC3 is not
there.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they're not politicians. That's why they're not in those spots. But Chris, there has to come a time where, I don't know, bro, Raw's at 1.3 million. Is the magic number 1 million? Like at 1 million, do we fire everybody and start over? I don't know what it is. We need some new freaking blood, bro.
Well, I think it's cognitive dissonance, Vince, because if it gets down to 1 million, they'll just be like, oh, well, there's so many people watching on YouTube nowadays. You know what I mean? Like there'll always be a reason why the numbers are dwindling. And I think I saw a stat somewhere that like 65% of people still watch television. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't throw everything to YouTube. Plus, full shows aren't on YouTube. Full shows aren't on Peacock, live shows. Yeah. So it's still the streaming devices. They're still keeping record of that stuff. Yeah. So it's like, you can't just throw like, oh, well, it's this, what's that? No. At the end of the day, people are leaving. People are leaving the companies. People are leaving their interest when it comes to pro wrestling. And so I think you make a good point there. Yeah,
blows,
plain and simple. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, unfortunately.
Read a book.
Digger, I think you make a really good point when it comes to Tony Khan. Wanting the biggest fad going on now. You know what I mean? Like, I want the biggest. Yeah, exactly. I got the money. GCW is going on. Oh, yeah, well, that's really nice. Okay, bring that over here. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and they have over 100 people on the roster, and they have 3 hours of television to just like, okay, well, let's take away this segment, put this one in real quick, let this ride for a few weeks, and then now let's give an Aleister Black vignette of him coming back. You know what I mean? It's just like all the time trying to segment a bunch of different moments and spots and stuff like that. And it's just like the television production as a whole is just all over the place when it comes to stuff like that. Yeah. And so, yeah, man, I think that Tony Khan will ride this wave because, it makes him a part of the in crowd if he brings in Jeff Jarrett as the last outlaw, but I will put Jarrett over for cashing in because that's what businessmen do.
Absolutely, bro. I mean, absolutely. No doubt about it, man. Make as much money as you can, man. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little thing. Yeah.
Do that one more time. Do that one more time.
Let's bury him real fast. The stroke is the dumbest move ever.
Do the Fargo strut one more time. There you go. Very nice.
The stroke sucked, Jeff.
The stroke was a very interesting finish. That's for sure.
Bulldog with no impact. My finish.